Welcome back. You're watching Live from Paris on France 24, and it's the time of day when we find out what's making the buzz in the French press and on the internet as well. And James Creedon is here to do that. Hi there, James.
Good evening,
Laura. Obviously, the socialist primary is over all the headlines and all the websites today. And we all know who François Hollande is. We all know who Martine Aubry is. Not so sure about who Arnaud Montebourg is, though.
Well, he was on the 8 p.m. news this evening, so people who didn't want to look at Laura Baines were actually looking at they were looking at the 8 p.m. main evening news in France. Caters to a different audience, more of a domestic audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was one of the guests. I think we have a picture of him here. He came third in the first round of the socialist primary. This is a big, big deal in French politics at the moment. All of the polls were saying he'd get about maybe 6%, 7% at the most, and he came in at a whopping 17%. They're now calling him the kingmaker in this election because there's going to be a second round in this primary next Sunday. There's a big TV debate between the two frontrunners, and if we have a look online, we see who they are. Let's have a look at this webpage that I've pulled up here. You've got Martine Aubry and François Hollande. Now, you can see a little love heart with Arnaud Montebourg in the middle, and the two of them kind of thinking all sorts of smoochy, flirty thoughts about Arnaud because they're going to be trying to woo him in the next week. And not just him, mainly the people, the 17% of those who voted. Exactly.
And it would have been awkward if it was Ségolène, wouldn't it? Ségolène Royal is out of it now.
That's right. Ségolène Royal. We'll come back to her in a sec because that is a particularly sad situation. And but yes, love hearts in the middle there would have been most inappropriate.
Who is he closer to then, Montebourg?
Well, he's closer to Martine Aubry. He's actually by far the most left wing of the candidates in the primary, and his big theme is deglobalization, a word that he's almost coined himself, deglobalization. And so yeah, he's basically the big surprise of this election.
How does he propose to do that?
Well, closing the borders of Europe to more than they are today, for one.
Right.
And
building a fortress around France.
Fortress Europe, exactly. And basically just trying to kind of rein in capitalism. Now, what's interesting is next Wednesday, you can see, I'll just show you some of the web pages here because he's getting a massive amount of attention. Montebourg sollicité de toutes parts. Montebourg solicited by everybody. That everybody
wants him.
They're all trying to get his votes. L'Express here, which is a magazine, they're saying this is what he's going to do. And they were pretty much right. The article came out this afternoon, and he's kind of confirmed that in the show this evening. There's going to be a letter which he's going to make public on Wednesday. Now, why on Wednesday? Because Martine Aubry and François Hollande are going to be fighting it off in a TV debate. And in this letter, there are going to be 4 key themes. One of them is deglobalization. Another is cooperative capitalism. The third is regulating the banks. That's a nice popular theme at the moment. And the 6th Republic. Now, France is currently on Republic number 5. Or 5. That'll do. And he's talking about bringing it up to a 6th republic. So anyway, we'll see where all that goes. But for now, he hasn't said who he's going to support. You see, this is what everyone's kind of wondering.
Coy, isn't
who is he going to support? And
he's playing hard to get.
Do you know what he said this evening on the 8 p.m. news?
What?
Not here, but on France 2. He said there are 2 sides of the same coin, Martine Aubry and François Hollande.
Cutting words.
So they expect him, he might say who he'll vote for, but he's not going to make a general appeal for his 17% to vote for anyone in particular. That would be a bit undemocratic, according to him.
Oh, right, okay. Very, very too much globalisation. All right, now what about Ségolène? Because, of course, let's remind people, she, not so long ago, was in the presidential race. She lost to Nicolas Sarkozy.
Right.
She used to be the long-term partner of François Hollande.
Who is the hot favourite now.
Who is now the hot favourite. Now she's totally out of the race. It's over for her.
Well, let's have a look at this headline. It's in a blog on Le Nouvel Observateur. I think a very poignant headline. Rest in peace, Ségolène Royal. And if we go down, you see this very tearful picture of her. This was Ségolène Royal last night after her extremely disappointing 6%, some 10% plus lower than she was expecting. And let's have a listen at how she responded. It was quite poignant.
So much was invested. There's so much disappointment. For everyone who supported me, it's very hard.
Handled very gracefully there.
Yeah,
a little bit of self-pity there.
A little bit of self-pity. But I think,
you know, attractive in a
she went from 48% in the presidential election in 2007.
Well, she could have been the president.
She could have been. To 6% of her own party's voters. I mean, it's a whopping whopping collapse in her vote. Now, what people are saying in the press today is that poor old Ségolène, she's always runner-up. She lost to Sarkozy in 2007. She lost to Martine Aubry to take over the leadership of the party in 2009. She has now essentially lost to Arnaud Montebourg. So it's you know.
I think she might call it a day.
I think, you know, well, that's what the RIP is all about, I suppose. And here they're saying she's got a horrible dilemma on her hands. She's got to either now support, and she's going to say who she'll support tomorrow, either her ex-partner, and it was an acrimonious breakup, or the woman who she claims stabbed her in the back in 2009 over the leadership of the party. Not a particularly nice dilemma. No.
No, absolutely not.
Now, two very quick things I wanted to mention. Here's Audrey Pulvar. Now, she's interesting. I think we've got pictures of her as well. Why is she interesting?
Which one's she? The one on the left?
She's the one on the right with the glasses.
Right.
Now, she is the girlfriend of Arnaud Montebourg, and she's a big political journalist in France.
Oh, not another
and
one.
You see, she's appearing at his side the whole
What
time.
is it with these politicians and journalists?
And they're saying she's not being kind of discreet enough because she might have to give up her show on this.
There'll be no journalists left in France.
Well, they won't, because they're all going out with each other. I was saying if I was going out with you, Laura, you know, and if I was a big politician,
only, James.
you'd have to give up your job.
I would. Or you would.
I just want to right after. Can I show one more photo?
Absolutely.
This is Dominic Strauss-Kahn with a beard. He went to vote on Sunday for Martine Aubry. I'm sure Martine was delighted to hear that he got her.
Oh, let's
that
have a
she
closer
got his
look at that. Oh,
there you
dear.
go. Will I zoom in? Do we want to see the beard?
Yeah, we do.
There we go. Anyway, he now has a beard. So he's hoping people will be speaking about that
Looking
and not.
more like the caricature that people say he is by the day.
What do you mean by
Allegedly.
that? What do you mean by that?
All right. James Creedon, as
Thanks.
always, it's been a pleasure.
Laura.
Thanks very much indeed. Don't go away. Up next, we will have all the very latest headlines for you. Before that, though, we've got web news.